terms of the relationship that the Christians have with the Muslims in Pakistan and here, if you compare that, how would you go about how these elements of fear, the elements of the extreme elements that exist, could be eradicated, could be eliminated?
Christian-Muslim relations in Pakistan used to be ideal. We had no problem between Christians and Muslims, and they were living together since centuries. And religious coexistence in Pakistan is not because of immigration. Religious coexistence in Pakistan is not because of economical factors, that people from one part of the world move to another part of the world, or because of political uncertainty that people left their home and went to Pakistan. Christians and Muslims, they are living there since centuries, or since they are. For example, when I am in Pakistan, I speak Punjabi, and Punjabi constitutes 65% of the total population. When I'm in Pakistan, in Lahore, on one hand, I count myself among the majority community, but because of my religious identity, I am part of a minority group. So Christian-Muslim relations in Pakistan has always been ideal, but since last 20-25 years, because of extremism in the society, which is a new phenomena, and then because of Iraq and Afghan war, and prior to that because of Russia and Afghan war, and then because of sectarianism, and then Islamization in the society. These all are the factors which has created and brought and introduced intolerance in the society. Otherwise, the Christian-Muslim relations were ideal. I must tell my own story to you. I born in a Christian family. My father was very committed Christian. He sent me to live with my distant relatives in another city so that I could go to a church school. And church schools in Pakistan, church colleges in Pakistan are the best educational institutes. All wealthy Muslims, sensible Muslims, they send their children to church schools. So my father sent me to a church school. I was least interested because I had to live with my distant relatives. Then finally, with a permissive will, unwillingly, my father brought me back. And he had no idea because I destroyed his plans. And the local imam of that mosque, that was a Deobandi mosque. Now people think in a different way about all these sects, but at that time I had no idea. We had no idea this is a Deobandi mosque, or this is a Brelvi mosque. But he was a lovely man. He was a great man. He asked my father, "Your son used to live with your distant relatives, but nowadays he is living here. What he's doing?" These were my father's words. "He destroyed my plan. I have nothing to offer to him. I will see what I will do." I sent him to a good church school, but he is not willing to live there. Then these were the Maulana's comments. He said, "Why don't you send him to our mosque school, to our madrasa, so that he could learn a difference between a church school and a mosque school, because church schools in Pakistan are best schools." But just as a punishment, for a few weeks I was sent to that mosque school. That was a primary school attached with the Jama Masjid in Vihari. I stayed there for 5 years.
Wow, that's quite interesting.
With the potential imams.
Right.
I had no idea one day I'll become a priest. My parents had no idea one day I'll become a priest. But 35 years ago, things were different. 35 years ago, Christian-Muslim relations in Pakistan were ideal. And Christian-Muslim relations, or Christian or Hindu-Muslim relations, these were not something that we were received because of immigration. This is very important point to know. When we compare Christian-Muslim relations in the West with the Christian-Muslim relations in the Middle East or in Pakistan, we forget that Christian-Muslim relations in the West were emerged because of immigration. But it was not the case in the Middle East. Christian and Muslims in Iran, they are Iranian. Christian and Muslim in Iraq, they are people of the soil.
Yeah.
Christian and Muslims in Palestine, they are people of the soil. Christian and Muslims in Egypt is the same case. In the same way, Christian Muslims in Pakistan, they are Punjabi, they are whatever their cultural background is.
So it's a completely different
entirely different nature.